When you stop and think about your childhood, what do you see? Bright summer days under a clear blue sky, or afternoons set out on the beach? I think of how vibrant it was, how I saw the world where everything was new, and it was up to my imagination to make any sense of it. Fantasies and fairy tales seemed just around the corner, and each new experience was a mystery just waiting to be solved. But as anything goes in life, we grow up, lose touch with our childhood selves as we turn to face the responsibility of our lives. It doesn't have to be that way though, and that is why I am bringing a piece of my childhood back to life. Today, I will be building my candy factory megabase meant to reclaim that childhood nostalgia with gingerbread, chocolate syrup, and oh so much more. But anyways, why don't we go ahead and bring our childhood dreams to life? Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode on the Afterlife SMP. My name is Cash Money, and this is episode 18. Oh my gosh, it is time. We are beginning our mega base. Think the Candyland sort of aesthetic, something very grand, very magical, fantasy-like. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be very cool. For those who haven't really built in this kind of aesthetic, colorful blocks are usually very expensive, so we have some serious resource gathering to do. Considering how candy is inherently unhealthy for you, I think it fits that we are getting an unhealthy amount of resources today. First up, oh my gosh, please let me fly. I don't know what that was, but first up we have red sand, or more specifically red sandstone. This was meant to be a chill building focus video, not almost dying. Anyways, there we go. We can also grab a couple more resources while we're here, such as some terracotta, as well as some sand. Although wait, why did I mine terracotta? I literally have this massive machine meant to make terracotta for me. I should use this instead. However, I am going to use my 2 brain cells to mine these spruce trees a bit better. Just throw... Oh no, wait, no! I don't have my bone meal ready. Oh, it worked! It worked! Okay. Well, ignoring the panic, if you're going to make a tall tree, you place down your saplings, throw an ender pearl up, and then bone meal it super fast. And then that way you land on top and just have to mine down. Well, then we need to grow some mangrove as well, unfortunately. But this trick makes it a lot easier. I thought I had some tough. I definitely do not. Oh, but some diamonds. I'll take some of those. Why not? Anyway, we have everything gathered up, and let's talk about this build. Why don't we have a quick summary of what the backstory of this all is. So an eccentric billionaire spent their life growing up wanting to find the perfect candy, but they never could. So after making billions in real estate, they decided to create their own factory meant to make the perfect candy. It's part factory, part castle, with some colorful spires, smokestacks piercing the sky, and even gumball machines. Although it does possess a hidden secret, the candy fumes do turn the surrounding area into candy-inspired things. Homes turn into gingerbread houses, and people, well, you get the point, but I'm sure it's fine. So yeah, that's a quick run-through of what we plan to do today, but we have a ton of work to do. So of course, to fulfill the colorful aspect of this build, we want some, well, strong colors, so we are going to be having a cool gradient going on. We'll start with some mangrove wood, some red sandstone, orange concrete, honeycomb, and yellow concrete. And then on the flip side, we'll have a reverse gradient for the towers, going from a red at the bottom, kind of match it all up, and then get our way into a purple. That way we have this very warm sort of color to it all, and that should look great. We're not going to do the right or left half or our gumball machine. We're just focused on the middle segment today, so it's going to be super cool. Anyways, it has been enough time. Let's get to building our mega base. So right now we're just going to be focusing on filling in the general colors. Use that kind of gradient we laid out earlier, just get a basic shape filled in. Oh my gosh, was I insane when I built this? Literally 4 stacks of emerald blocks from just the 2 towers. Let's see how they look. Yeah, that is looking good. I mean, it's very basic right now, but wow. Although if I could, I think I would trade a stack of emerald blocks for a stack of mangrove wood, because I need so much mangrove and it is such a pain to mine. Thankfully, my mangrove supply was greater than my need, so we are good. Back to the stone farm we go. Oh boy, we still have so much more to cover. Let's speed this up a little bit. Why don't we go ahead and roll a time lapse? we are interrupting the regular scheduled program because oh no, I need to get some resin. Oh gosh, we get to corral these guys up. So we need to hit these guys and then they spawn resin and we just break the resin and then hit these guys some more. This isn't so bad. At least you can like make them stop by just looking at them. Like you're running. Oh no, don't chase me, stop. And they stop. Oh, there's so many zombies now. Why are there so many zombies? Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, we should fly away. We're gonna die. Oh no. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. Okay. Oh, where'd all the zombies come from? Okay, we're gonna have to call that enough resin, I hope. Oh my gosh, I think I am certifiably crazy now because we didn't even get rid of that much of the outline and we have so many blocks. Oh my gosh. Also, we were incredibly short on resin, but yeah, that is insane. We can really see the colors we were talking about. So just going from the dark at the bottom and working our way to something lighter at the top. Anyways, right now we have a bunch of walls on one side. We're just doing the facades today, but we probably should add some sort of roof, which means it's probably a good time to explain that I want this to be kind of like a gingerbread house sort of thing, a factory gingerbread house. So we have these very bright walls, and then we're going to have gingerbread roofs with icing kind of separating the two. If you notice so far, we have a very specific pattern going on, and that is we are building this thing up in layers. We just add one element at a time. Oh, monsters. First, it was our colorful walls. Now we're doing the roof. And soon we'll start adding more details and more details. It's a very simple approach, but lets you really perfect each step, give each step the time and thought it deserves so that you have a build that feels cohesive overall. I use this sort of strategy when doing any sort of build. I mean, oftentimes when you see like a build I just time-lapse in, you know, you don't really get to see that build process and the thoughts that go on behind actually creating it, but that's what always happens. And I think for projects, especially on this sort of scale, it's even better to use this sort of layered approach. Besides, it is so satisfying to see it all come together and look amazing. For me at least, it really helps me feel more connected to the build, which is something I really appreciate. Yeah, that's definitely helping, just adding another layer to this. But we're gonna wrinkle up our happy cast friend and work on the icing. Not the icing on the cake, because we still have a lot more to do, but is the icing on the gingerbread house. Anyways, I just want to put a layer of our spruce kind of below our icing. That way it looks like our gingerbread is sort of poking through. And then we can have our actual white blocks going above that. And the goal is to just give this a somewhat chaotic shape, although I feel like we do have a lot of texture going on. I kind of want to simplify it. I think somewhere I have some smooth quartz. That looks a lot better. I think we just stick to the stripped pale oak and the quartz. I think that's going to look best. Here I am, slightly regretting my choices, but also, thank gosh, villagers sell quartz. Anyways, many stacks of quartz have been acquired and we can work on our base, and before you know it, we have all of the icing done, and it's actually looking really nice. If we get it out from our farthest point of view, if I could actually land here, just, yeah, that looks so good. I love how we have the icing with the darker gingerbread below. It gives a really cool shading effect. And while this is looking great, we don't have the tops of the towers, which honestly, those have been stressing me out so much. But I have some ideas. So obviously this is heavily inspired by Candyland, so why don't we pull up some of the Candyland boards? And some of the castles have a very cool like gingerbread roof with some like chocolate icing kind of decorating the top. And I think we could pull off something like that. Let's pop over to creative real quick. Okay, so here we are with a creative copy of our base. We can use this to kind of plan out what we want to do for our roofs. So using Axiom, we can use the symmetry tool and just put a spot in the middle of our tower. If we want a sort of gingerbread looking tower with chocolate spilling over it, then we should probably design our tower first and then add the chocolate on top. We're really not concerned about it looking perfect, but we just kind of want like a general tower shape to it. And then from there, we can grab some dark oak blocks and just starting from the top, kind of run our chocolate down. This to look like it takes up volume. So we're going to use some bigger blocks, kind of expand the profile of the tower that we had going on.
Don't even think I'm here. Don't even think I'm here.
Okay.
And see.
All right, and after a bunch of placing, we get this nice kind of lumpy mass right here. Just a bunch of random dark wood pieces. It's looking pretty good. Of course, if we're going to make this look like gingerbread or some sort of wafer, we probably want to texture it a little bit. So we can just add some jungle wood scattered throughout.
That sounds good right now.
It does, doesn't it? And then we have these little sort of mini blocks on our server. We can just convert a handful of different blocks into like player heads basically. And I was thinking it'd be cool to just put these on our towers, make it look like we have sprinkles dotted around. I think that'd be a really cool look and just add some life to this build.
Definitely adding life. Yep. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it.
And then this is the sort of design we're going to make for the rest of our towers, which of course means even more resource gathering. You know, this mega project is feeling like a bunch of small projects, just one stacked on top of the other, which I guess makes sense considering how we are building this with one layer at a time, but those are big layers. So for now, my life is chopping trees. And this is where having good old Lightmatica is an absolute lifesaver to create this sort of thing quickly. For me, building in creative and copying it over is very helpful for these very large menial tasks. Big job indeed, but hey, this is looking so good. I love those towers. It's one more layer, helps make this thing look more complete, and we'll add our sprinkles later. But the walls are looking very bare right now, so we just need to go ahead and turn this into a factory. First, I think it'd be good to have these little sorts of bases at the bottom of each of our walls. That way, just give this a sort of solid foundation. And then between two bases, we can have some sort of connecting wall. Let's see, if we zoom out, it kind of looks like a prison, I won't lie, which is not the vibe we're going for. Does all iron fences look better? It does not. Okay, hear me out. Our base is really out there, so we'll go with a really out there kind of block. Or we just go with what we already had and make it a little bit different. I think that works a lot better. All in all, these are pretty minor details, so we really don't need to overthink it as much as I like to. And as the sun goes down, yeah, that is looking good. Anyways, not that I've totally been procrastinating so far, kind of terrified to start, but we should probably work on making this into our factory. I guess it's just a blank canvas and I don't want to mess it up whatsoever, but it's fine. Even if it somehow turns out to be an absolute disaster, we can always tear it down, which I don't think it's going to be a disaster, but that option's always there. Just got to start placing blocks. That's the best way to get over this irrational fear. What would you call it? New buildophobia? Like afraid of new builds? Blankophobia? Afraid of blank canvases? I think there's something there. Whatever it is, I am getting over my fear today. That is happening. Also, my happy gas keeps flying away and I am not having it right now. Anyways, I want to emphasize the factory walls. Use a lot of gadgets, a lot of different hardware, equipment going on with the factory. Use a combination of blocks to tell some sort of story like that. Well, I was being dramatic because, yeah, that looks awesome. We have all these like little windows and just gadgets set up around our thing. I think it is really cool. So now we have a semblance of a vibe. Let's keep the vibes going strong. For our towers, I want them to feel more ornate. Whereas the walls of our factory are going to be more factory based, the towers are going to be more castle based, and we can do stuff like framing the windows, creating specific like balconies around the tower, use a couple accent colors, and go from there. And if we just take a step back, how does it look? Oh wow, that is awesome. If you ignore our shulker monster plastered on the side of our build, it makes it feel very electric and modern. It's a nice duality that fits in with the rest of our build, and I'm really liking it. And you remember how we still need those resin blocks for our base? Well, we're gonna make a resin farm. We could do that at our industrial district, and let's put it right here. Why don't we go ahead and roll a quick time lapse? Look at how cool that looks. Oh my gosh, this farm is insane. Is it overkill for what we need? Absolutely. But, you know, it's good to have more than we could ever possibly need than not enough. I've been AFK here for 2 minutes and we have so much resin. That would have taken me like an hour to farm if I were doing it the previous way. This is so much nicer. Which with a resin farm, we can fill in this very small gap in our build. Oh, also you might notice we have another farm in our mega base. I made a bone meal farm one day. Yeah, that was interesting. So I don't feel very great and I don't really want to build right now because I don't feel good, especially starting my mega base. But I want to play some Minecraft in a fun, casual way. So we're gonna build a giant farm for my mega base. I want a bone meal farm, so I have a bunch of resources right here. Why don't we go ahead and get building? And there we go. Yeah, not bad at all. And hey, I like building farms and it's another farm in our mega base, so I am very happy with this. Oh, and this is a design by Made of Moss. As always, you can find a link to it in the description. Anyways, I want to work on the entrance to our mega base. I guess the front being the doors that are the entrance to our entire factory. So I just want to go for some nice bright red doors, kind of fit the aesthetic of everything. Go with some crimson wood. Maybe add some trim to act as a fancy mechanism to lock this thing shut. And it'd be cool to have some sort of like hinge mechanism going on, so we can add our dark oak wood. And then just in a couple spots, we can remove our wood and add in some composters to act as hinges. And then lastly, I want to think about how this door is going to look when it's closed. So maybe we can go for some sort of like circular candy design. I don't know, just something like that. Like if you imagine when the doors are closed, it makes a cool little pink and yellow candy design, which I think fits very well. I would call our door done. Of course, straight on, you don't see much, but it is open and inviting, and that's what we want this candy factory to be. But we have one problem. We've done so much work already, and it's just not enough. We have so much more of this to decorate, the towers, the walls. We have a ton of work to do, so why don't we roll a time lapse, build some more gadgets and mechanisms on the side of our base, and truly bring it to life. Why don't we go ahead and roll another time lapse? This is truly the hardest building style I've ever worked on in Minecraft. Candyland is such a bright and vibrant aesthetic that requires so much balance to make it work. You need bright blocks, which are often expensive, like our resin or our honeycomb. There's a fine line between making it look like it's out of some sort of fantasy dream and making it look tacky. And finally, this building style is a lot. You must balance the busyness of it with making it look like too much, too overwhelming, taking away from the details of the build. I think we were able to balance it super well. I can't say I've seen many people do Candyland in Minecraft before, so I'm really happy we were able to make it come to life today and make it come to life so well. Oh my gosh, my brain hurts. Let's fly over and here, get a good view of this. And here is the mega base right now. Oh my gosh. This looks so good. I love how all these factory components just bring it to life. It gives it a very busy look. I'm seriously so proud of this. It was a lot of mental work, like trying to come up with different designs and different gadgets each time. Obviously, I love the clock. I love how we have the hands and the little like time numbers on the entire perimeter of it. I love this window right here. I like how we have it's just on this diagonal, we have like the copper on top and then a little device hanging down from it. The top tower is so cool. I love the stripped crimson with the crimson planks. It creates a nice gradient, and we kind of mimicked the icing that we have throughout the base on top. And of course, as the sun begins to set, we just see how this base lights up at night. It really comes alive with a life of its own. Now, we kind of alluded to it earlier, but I do want to add one more final touch to this thing before we call it good. And for that, we need to take advantage of one of Afterlife's amazing mods. Well, I guess two. First, we can just throw concrete powder into a cauldron and it auto converts. But then also, if we put our concrete into a stone cutter, we get mini block versions. Oh, we get a lot. Oh, I didn't realize there was that many. We definitely don't need that much. Well, as has been the theme today, it's better to have extra than not enough. But we can go ahead and add little, what would you call these? gumdrops to our base thing. Would you call them like sprinkles? I don't know. But gingerbread houses always seem to have these, so I think just adding them around our icing border adds a really cool aspect to this. We can even add them to our little chocolate towers. Make these look like sprinkles kind of running down with the chocolate syrup. When Skunk pointed this out, we have some shelves kind of scattered around. If we put it in a shelf, it looks like a mini sprinkle. That's so cute. Of course, being an overthinker, I want to make sure the placement of every single one of these is perfect. But if we take a step back, oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's not a super noticeable thing, but I really like it. I really like it on the chocolate towers. It's good for the icing border too. I think we should try and add some bigger sort of sprinkles. Straight concrete this time, no mini blocks. And with that change, yes, that is looking a lot better. It all has that uniform texture, but we have the different sizes, and it looks a bit more natural as a gingerbread house, or gingerbread candy factory, whatever floats your boat. And so for our final layer to build today, we can go ahead and gumdropify this build. And let's take one last look at this from our viewpoint. And oh my gosh, this thing looks so cool. Those sprinkles, gumdrops, whatever you want to call them, look so good. I love them on the tower tops. Having the different sizes for the icing looks so good. It feels like we've done it justice. It feels like I've brought my childhood dreams to life. This is truly our Candyland factory, and I just can't believe how insane it is. It's been so much work to make this happen. We have a ton to build still. I didn't get to the bridge today. I think this is going to be in a different style. We have this stuff right here, gumball machines, smokestacks, and stuff over here. We'll do each part of this build justice, but it takes time to cook up something this good. But anyways, everybody, thank you for coming along on this nostalgia journey for me. I had so much fun building this. It was so hard. I really struggled to build in this style, but I feel like we made it come to life. Combining the candy castle ideas with the factory, we can see inspiration from both parts, and they tied together really well. It's something I'm really happy with. There's still so much to add for this base, but we have a really good start. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know what part of this build was your favorite. Also, what should we add next to bring our Candyland ideas to life? But anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day! And then eventually we get a finished product that we will copy over to the rest of our... I can't with you sitting there.
What?
The rest of our... I was expecting you to be right there.
I was hoping that's the effect I would get.
This is gonna make a... This is gonna be like an end credit scene.
It's gotta be. This is gotta be.
Yeah.